Casinos know all of these tricks, and if you're obvious about them, they will do one of two things. The kindest thing they will do, the pit boss will walk over and say, "I'm sorry, sir, your skill level is not appropriate for our establishment," and they will allow you to leave. If they really catch you and they're angry, they will say, "I'm sorry, sir, your skill level is too good and you need to leave." And by the time you leave, you will find a police officer who says, "I'm sorry, I was told that you were asked to leave, and clearly you're still here, you're trespassing," and then they will take you to jail. That's called trespassing.
Oh, wow. So you get trapped, basically?
I mean, yeah. Now here's a third layer to it. The casinos know that dipshits like me have read the books on how to do this. And they also know that when they catch it obviously happening by somebody who's 6 beers in, maybe the best thing is to let the kid keep on trying because clearly he's a child and doesn't know what he's doing. That's where I sit comfortably right now. Hello, this episode of The Modern Rogue is brought to you by Squarespace. That's right, Squarespace. Head on over to squarespace.com/rogue. Spell it right, however it's spelled. Free trial, 10% off.
What do you get? Oh, wait, no, you told that. Okay.
Okay, so last time we learned the rules of blackjack and we learned basic strategy.
I get 2 cards, you get 2 cards, everybody gets 2 cards. Take a look, see how close it is to 21. If it's 11, I double down. If I've got 2 of the same, I can split, but I determine whether I want to hit or stay.
Based on what rules?
Based on always assume that the face down card is a 10.
Correct. Have you ever noticed that there are different blackjack tables? Sometimes you could imagine there's a single deck. Sometimes it'll be 2 decks that they shuffle together. Other times it'll be 6 decks all shuffled and that are inner shoe, and they'll play it a little bit differently. They'll sweep stuff out and all of the cards are face up all the way around. And then there are these auto shufflers. Have you ever seen these?
Yes.
What do they do?
It's just a machine that really thoroughly shuffles all the cards to make sure that there's no human interference.
Why do you have all these different tables? Because basic strategy is mathematically the slowest way to lose. However, there are certain situations where basic strategy becomes more true and more reliable, and other times it's less true and less reliable. And if you pay attention, you will know to increase or decrease your bet based on those conditions. And this is what they call
Card counting.
That's right. You're about to learn how to count cards. Starting now, I want you to split into 2 people. We're gonna play the same hand, but in one, I want you to bet as somebody just playing basic strategy, same bet every single time.
Okay.
But if you're gonna count cards, you need to have the flexibility to not just be doing the minimum bet, because you're gonna need to recognize when the deck is sour and reduce your bet. So maybe do 25-25 in reds on each side.
Okay.
And which side do you want to represent what?
This will be the basic strategy.
So that's gonna be the same one, 25 every single time. And this will be,
Are we starting off with 25? Or are we going to be?
yeah, you have to have a baseline.
Okay.
So at this point, you should have basic strategies so automatic in your mind that you're not really thinking about what you're gonna do for any hand.
It's already decided.
On top of basic strategy, I want you to keep track of every single card you see, because you will have the chance to see them. And all you have to do, this is called a running count, is either say +1 or -1, and remember the running count number. When the running count indicates that the deck is ripe for basic strategy, when it's more true, you want to increase your bets, and when it seems more chaotic, that's when you want to reduce it. So, 2 rules. +1 every time you see anything, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6.
Okay.
2 to 6 is a +1 for the running count. And that's the only number you're gonna hold in your mind, while the other part of your brain is being a jolly party animal And the other part of your brain is running subroutine, play basic strategy over the long term. What's a +1?
2 to 6.
That's right. The ones that you're going to do -1 are anytime you see a 10, a 10, a 10, a 10, or an ace. That's a -1. Because the more of those 10s that are burned, the less true basic strategy becomes.
I see. Right.
And all you're going to do is adjust your bet based on this. Make sense?
It does.
Okay, so I'll shuffle the cards and we'll see how it goes. We'll talk through it. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, so I just shuffled. I'm going to burn a card. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, that's a bad starting hand. But
I have 14.
14. Okay.
So
But meanwhile, you're playing a different game.
that is 0.
Is that 0?
It is. No. Yes, it is a 0. It's 0.
You've seen this one.
Oh, so in my running total, I'm doing everyone, not just mine.
You have to see
Of course.
every single card. And in single deck blackjack, there's going to be somebody over here who has 2 cards, and you're only going to get a flash of them before they get scooped up and put away. But all of them go into your running count. So right now, based on what you see, what's the running count?
-1.
That's correct, which means it's slightly not a good time to increase your bet.
Yeah.
But we're gonna, that's our secret head. Now we're just gonna keep on playing the game. By basic strategy, what should you do?
I should,
That's right, why?
because I am not at a 17 yet.
And it looks like I have 20, right?
Looks like you got 20.
Okay, great, so then you're just gonna hit and you busted. Now, this is why the moment this comes out, you notice you busted, I've already scooped it away. And now you have to go back to the running count. What's the running count?
-2.
That's right. Very good. Okay, so then I play the other players and they do whatever, and you see this for about a half second, and then this goes away.
-3.
-3. So you lost. So both of these are gone. These are $25 bets that are now gone.
Yep.
Now your baseline is 25. What are you going to do in each scenario?
I'm going to do 25 here because this is my consistency.
Yeah, in
This
fact,
is the-
actually, you
Oh,
could just
yeah.
put 25
Oh,
out
that's
there.
a 25 too?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll decide that. Yeah.
That's 25 there, and
Maybe go
a
down to
little
20.
less. Yeah, okay.
Okay, there we go. So same thing.
So you got -4, and then
-5.
-5.
-4.
-4.
Right. Okay. So just hold that number in your head.
-4. Okay.
But now you're going to hold on to -4, but you're going to go back to what modality? You're going to go back to playing,
I'm going to go back to basic strategy,
which says for
which
both
says
players
that you've probably got a 10 right here.
Yep.
And I've got like a 5 or a 5, or excuse
you
me,
have a soft 15.
soft 15.
Right.
So
You're going to hit. There you go. Now, real quick, plus or minus.
0.
There you go. Neither. Right. So
Yeah.
you're still holding on to what's the running count?
-4.
That's right. But switch back to the modality of basic strategy.
Basic strategy, I am at 14.
That's right.
I would hit again.
Okay, so here it comes again. So now check in on both. What is the running count?
-5.
That's right. Switch modalities. Basic strategy says you're at 15 now.
I'm at 15. 17. Now we're at -4.
But in the modality of basic strategy,
In the modality of basic strategy, I'm at a 17.
which means you finish,
I
right?
stay.
And that's one of the beauties of playing this game. Once basic strategy runs on autopilot, then you're playing another game.
Yeah.
By the way, what's the running count?
-4.
There you go. Okay, and so you're done. You're not really thinking about it. You're just paying attention to everybody else. Hypothetically, were I to attempt this type of advantage play, I stop paying attention to what's happening to the hand because I've already made my decision. And then at this point, I'm watching, what's the count?
It is -3. -4. -3.
Okay, so at this point, in the real world, this is 12 plus 13 plus 14, this is 17, and very quickly all this is going to vanish. You're going to have a brief moment to see everybody else's cards in here. So what's the running count?
-3.
Okay, by the way, I forgot to pay attention who won. Who won? In this case, we push, But you're not really paying attention to that because you're paying attention to the big number. Basic strategy is just going to keep on betting the same thing. But if you're card counting and you know we're at -3 and the deck is getting real thin, so maybe you want to pull back a little bit more. Just one. Yeah, there you go. Now, the way we're doing this would be sniffed out instantly by the casino, and you'll be asked to, why don't you go hit the roulette or whatever. But the principle, I believe, remains the same. So now we go to the next hand. What's the running count?
It's -4.
Right, okay. So you take a look at your cards. What changes here?
-2.
But back to basic strategy, what's your move? Actually, you know what? Dealer has blackjack.
Oh.
So you don't even get to.
Okay.
So -2 becomes,
Oh, yes, -3.
there it is, there it is. And now normally at the last third of the deck, that's when they'll stop dealing, whether it's a 2-deck stack or a 3-deck stack. But we'll keep going just for example. So the count is,
-2.
that's right. And this one affects it which
That's a
way?
0, and that's +1, so we're back to -1.
Per the rules of basic strategy, knowing the count, what is your move right here?
Okay, I got 15, I got a hit.
No, you, what do
No?
I have though?
Oh, but you've got,
Because you assume this is
that's
what?
a 10, so 13. Still, I should, if I'm not at 17, I should hit, right?
Oh, no. You expect me to bust because I have 13 and I have to hit.
Oh, right, okay,
Right.
okay. So you have to hit, I'm gonna expect you to bust, so
Great.
I'm gonna
that-
stay.
I flip this over. And how does that change the running count?
+1,
All right. Because of dealer's rules, I have to,
you gotta hit.
that's right. And then, and
18.
now, okay. So, and what does this one do?
That is a -1.
Okay, great. So you're still losing, but you are gathering information. We'll start again from the beginning. I think you're getting it now.
We are at 0 right now, we're starting from 0.
Right. And this is why they always burn one card at the beginning. Running count,
Okay, that adds a +1.
+1.
That is a 0, that is also a +1.
There we go. So running count is,
+2.
which puts you in the weird position of this is objectively a frustrating hand if you're playing basic strategy, but it's a good hand if you're trying to count cards.
Right.
Because the deck is getting richer and riper right now. So because you have to play basic strategy, you see,
So I think you're gonna bust, so I'm gonna hold.
Okay.
Or stay.
yes, and you know that you may lose this, but you know that the running count is,
+2.
so I flip this over, running count is,
1.
that's right, and then it turns out that 12, what do I have to do?
You have to hit again.
Now
So
it's the running count.
Now it's +2.
And so meanwhile, you're happy and you don't really care whether or not you win or lose this hand because you're getting ready to bring down the hammer, right?
You gotta hit again. Now it's +1.
That's right.
Because that's a -1, but you bust.
In based, nope, not.
Oh, right,
Because
yeah.
it could be a 1, so we're at 15, which means I have to keep going. And that's the thing. When they play so fast.
Yeah.
We're at 15, and now I got 21.
And that's a +1, so you're at a +2 again.
You're at a +2.
Oh, sorry.
I have to accept all of your money, but now you know that the deck is richer, and maybe now's the time you want to increase your bet
Okay.
on the card counting iteration.
We'll do that, and you know what?
Yeah, go nuts. Because you know that the running count is +2. You're also paying attention to how much farther there is to go. So running count is 2. You're going to increase your bet. This is the kind of things that a pit boss will notice. But then
So we're at a +2.
now you should be excited on 2 levels.
Now we're at a +3, and then +4, +5.
So now the deck is very rich with 10s, which makes basic strategy more true, which means you should be more bold. Now, we'll talk about why I might do this later, but the sensible thing to do is what with this?
To hold because I know you're gonna bust.
That would be the case if you weren't counting cards.
Ah,
But
okay,
because
okay.
you know there's a lot of 10s in here, and this is a 6, you might do something a little bit crazy to take advantage of it. This is why it's called advantage play. What's a move you could make right now between hitting and doing something else that would take advantage of the fact that you know there are more 10s?
Oh, double down?
Doubling down on an 8 is a crazy thing to do. but it's exactly what I would do if I knew there was lots of 10s. So now I'm going to double down. I'm going to hand you a card.
Okay.
Real quick, check in.
+5.
Great. What's the running count now?
+6.
That's right. So now it's even richer than ever. And so what do I have to do as the dealer?
You have to hit.
That's 20,
+5.
and you were dealt.
So I have an 18. So I
So
lose.
You lose, but now you know the deck is where?
+5.
+5. There's only,
Was that with the last queen too, Jason?
yes. Yeah, it's accurate.
Oh, little did they know that was not accurate. Hi, sorry for the interjection. I just wanted to call attention to this moment because at this point, Brian and Jason, and subsequently everybody behind the scenes, all lost track of the count. It shouldn't be confusing because for the rest of the deck, I've edited their responses so that way it sounds like they are saying the correct count. I actually did this for deck 1 as well. But I wanted to remind you of just how easy it is to lose track of the count. When you're watching as a viewer, you have all these helpful stats on screen, and as an observer, you're engaging with the content a little bit differently than they are as active participants. You know, it's really easy to focus on different things and get distracted, and in a real life scenario, there's probably going to be other players, and you have to keep track of their cards as well, so that further complicates things. Also, I just wanted to see your face. I just wanted to say hi. Hi. I hope you're doing great. Anyway, back to the guys. Ooh.
I collect everything. Just for grins, we're going to go all the way through the deck. Normally, they would cut it off at the bottom third. But knowing what you know, I might go a little bit nutty with my bets.
Okay.
So you are tripling your bet, which, by the way, is unsubtle and will be caught. But now we're just
Okay.
still going to play the same game.
Okay, so +3 with that one.
Right, is the running count. But you're going to look at your cards.
0. So we're still at +3.
Okay, so advantage goes to you. Per basic strategy, how are you going to react?
I got to hit.
You have to hit, and this is that awkward, terrible moment where very likely you're going to bust. And you did,
Yep.
but it's another 0 gone, so you're losing all of this. And now what's the running count?
+2.
That's right. So we're only slightly in an awesome spot. But, for example, let's just keep on here. That's a loan.
Okay. What am I? Am I doing? Am I
Well,
going crazy? What do
I
you
mean,
think?
it's only +2, but we're really at the end of the deck.
Okay.
So the advantage really is in your favor. I would probably pull it back and do this, but there's a lot of people who have opinions on this stuff.
Okay.
All right. So running count is
0 for that one.
Yep.
I've got
So that's a wash.
so 15 or 5, soft 15. So yeah, I got to hit.
Remember, you're doing advantage play now, and we're at +2 with
right,
very
right.
few left. So now you know you have the advantage. So I would, instead of hitting, this is me, I'm not giving advice. I'm just
That is double down again.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. You definitely don't want a 10, but you hope that this is not a 10 and that the dealer's going to bust. And using that information, knowing that the deck is rich in 10s, you're going to double down and get 1 card. And again, you may lose this hand, but that's not the game you're playing. The game you're playing is to increase your bet based on new information. And then and now what's the running count?
2.
So in this case, playing basic strategy, you got what?
17.
And what do I have?
17.
So it's a push, but you've gotten more information. Now that running count of 2, as we get near the end of the deck, becomes more potent. You bet however you want. You don't even have to bet more. You could just push
Sure.
forward, let it ride,
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Okay.
Now at this point, what's the running count?
The running count is +3.
That's right. This is, according to basic strategy, a very good hand for you to see. What do you have? That's a very good hand for you to have. So the running count changes to,
+2.
that's right. So you have both advantage play and a good position. So what are you going to decide on both of these?
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Okay. And so then, now the
Okay.
dealer doesn't get to split.
What was it? 4? It was 4.
Was it 4? So it's plus 1 more,
So it's plus 1 more.
which is good or bad for you?
That's good.
Very good. And what do I have to do as the dealer?
You got to hit.
There you go.
And you got to hit.
And
Right.
now where are we at?
Now we're at plus 4.
That's right. But what do I have to do?
You've got to hit again.
Now
We're at plus 3.
Okay, but what do I have to do?
You don't.
No, I'm at 12.
Wait, you're at 12? Oh, yeah. Okay, because if you do it the other way, it's 22.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to hit again.
Which is great for you because you're getting more information, which is giving you an ever more precise running count of what's in the deck. So I have to hit again as the dealer, and now the running count changes to 2. So at this point, you again have lost the hands, but you now see, you can estimate how few cards there are, and you have a good idea of how many of them are 10s. And with a running count in your favor, this is the moment. And honestly, I don't know if this is going to work. Normal Jason is going to do this. Crazy Jason might do something like this. And this will not be allowed at a casino. But you know that the advantage is in your favor, and we're almost at the end.
Why wouldn't it be allowed?
Because they could tell that you're counting cards.
I see.
And you'll be told, I'm sorry, sir, your skill set is not a match for this establishment. Oh.
Am I okay? So
we got a -1 here. Mm-hmm. And you have the worst hand possible. These two are a wash, so it's the same count. Per basic strategy, what do you have to do? Too many tens. Doggone it. But you wouldn't have won anyway. So in this case, you increased your bet too dramatically, overestimating the advantage that you had based on my advice. Do you think you have it? Are you ready to play?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna do a for reals experiment and
Okay.
see if this actually works. But again, it might not. That's the nature of the randomness. It's that statistical probability over the long term. Burn a card. Okay, running count is
-1.
When I see those, I just think even per the rule. Oh, actually, I should offer insurance, and you'll say no, and then I'll reveal it's a blackjack. Now,
yeah.
this should make you sad because you're losing, but you know that the count is now.
-2.
That's great. Yeah. So you now have information. So how are you going to let that affect your next bet?
And we'll do 15. So -2. Is that right?
That's correct. Okay, running count now.
-1.
Yep.
And then we are at 0.
Per basic strategy, what do you do?
I'm gonna hit.
Even though you don't want to.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
it worked out just fine for you because you have 20.
That's great.
What's the running count?
+1.
You probably have a winning hand.
Okay.
Running count.
That is +2. Oh, right. Okay, 2 through 6. Yeah, so +1.
So
Okay.
still +1. Mm-hmm. What do I have to do?
You got to hit.
So 20
You got 20.
versus 20, that's a push. Where are we at on the running count?
+1.
0.
Wait, 0?
Okay.
Oh, right. You're right. Okay.
So in this case, how
Okay.
will you alter your bet?
I will not. I'll keep it the same.
That's right.
Okay, we are now at +1,
There you go.
and we are now at +2.
That's right. Per basic strategy, what should you do?
I got to hit.
Why would you hit on a 12 against a 12?
Right.
This is one of those softer edges of basic
Right.
strategy.
Right.
But
Okay.
since you're playing the card counting game, I would just stand on that. But
Okay.
I'm not a
Yeah,
pro.
let's stay.
Okay. Okay, so the running count is now,
+1.
that's right. But what do I have to do?
You got to hit.
And now I busted. You get, what was it, 15 here and 1 here. There you go.
So we're at 0.
So I would go back to default. If you're at 0,
go back
there
to-
you go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And again, I am far from an expert in this. I'm just trying to explain. Oh, there we go. So now we're at,
So now we are at +1,
yep.
and we are at +2 and +3.
Okay, so knowing that we're at +3, we're rich in what card?
10,
What is most likely to happen over here?
15.
So normally you would just hit, but on this 10, you might want to do what? So this guy's going to hit, this guy's doubling down, and it's 21, which changes the count to what?
Turns it to 2.
Okay, and then we finish out the turn. What does this do?
That takes us to a +3.
That's right, and the dealer has to hit.
Hit again, that's 0.
That's right, but meanwhile we're at 16, so the dealer has to.
Has to hit again. So that's a +4.
Okay, the running count is +4, but now we both hit 21.
Ah,
So
okay.
this is a push, and now we're at +4. So what might you want to do on your bets? Technically, this goes back to you. What might you want to do, knowing that
With
you
a
are
+4?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so +3,
Yep.
+4.
Yep.
So I got a 12, you got a 10, you're probably gonna hit a 10. I got a hit.
That's right.
Okay, so 20.
So you have 20, so that's a winning hand. This is a 0, so it doesn't affect anything.
We are at +4. So you have 20,
So it's-
and now we are at +3.
Okay, there we go. So still advantage play, but remember, the closer we get to the end of the shoe or of the deck, the more true things become. So +3, you make whatever call you want.
Yep, that's, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, all right.
So that's nothing.
0.
We're still at +3. So, and then we've got +5 now.
+5 with these few cards is a pretty good indicator. If this is 17, at this point, we're outside of my field of expertise. If you double down right now, the best you could do is 15 and hope for a bust. So maybe you want to hit and get even more information.
Yeah, let's do that. So we're at +5, right?
Okay, now we're at +4, but you're at 15. Knowing that we're rich in tens, I would probably stop.
Yeah, I gotta stay.
Okay, at which point, now we're at,
And so you win.
yes, correct. Okay, so knowing that you're a +3 with this much left, how do you want to bet?
I'm gonna go ahead and do my stable one here. And yeah, let's go ahead and do a little bold there.
Yeah, this is where we've reached the edges of my understanding.
Okay.
So I don't know the math of what you're supposed to do, but intuitively, this is an advantageous position to be in,
Nice.
right? Okay, so now we go from +3 to +2.
+2. Looking at mine,
Oh dear.
20.
Now
So
that's great.
We are at
That's a winning hand.
0.
Okay. 21. Now we're at -1. And that is why you always leave a note. All right, just do $1. Okay,
Okay, so
now we're even.
we are even at 0. And we have +1. We're back at 0.
Okay, so this is one of the softer edges on basic strategy. I don't know. I legit don't know. So flip a coin. Do you want to hit or not?
Hit. Yay!
17, which takes us back to -1. So you're going to stay at 17. 11. 19.
19.
Okay, all right. So what's the running count? -1.
Okay.
So -1, you might want to just
Not bet anything?
back out. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to take your money.
That's
I
okay.
probably should have been actually doing the dealer thing.
Okay. -2. -1. I got a hit.
So you got 20,
Hey! That doesn't change the running count at all?
correct? 20 matches 20. All right, you know what? There's only 4 cards left, and they never get to this point. But just for grins, knowing what you know, what is the smartest move on this very last hand?
Just take all the chips. So,
I mean, actually, yes. I mean, first of all, yes, that's exactly the smartest move.
So, -2.
You would bet very little and walk away. By the
Yeah.
way, you want to see what it would have turned out to be?
Yeah, basic bet.
So there's no more cards.
Yeah. 18.
18 to 9. This is the part where I know everybody in the world is gonna correct me on how I understand this. But if I explained it right, give me kind of the core tenets of what we've learned.
Okay, basic strategy is the closest thing to a coin flip you're gonna get. It is the way to lose the most slowly.
Yes.
With card counting, you are assigning a point value, starting at 0. Every time you get face card, 10, an ace, so forth, that is -1 to your value because the running count tells you how rich in tens the deck is.
Yes.
So you've got a -1 for those, you get a +1 for 2 through 6. And so that running count, if it's over 0, the higher it's over 0, the more risky, the more advantage you have. And if it's under 0, the more conservative you should play because there are less tens in that deck.
Dude, I can't believe it. I think you just learned how to count cards.
Boom!
So in real life, the more cards that are involved and the more often they're shuffled, the less true any of this is. But at home, just playing for fun, you can actually do this, especially with a single deck. It will work in the long term, which is why they've engineered all of gambling to stop you from doing it. Hey, Bryce.
Yeah.
Remember when we made a Squarespace site for my daughter Josie's diss tracks?
Diss tracks for you.
Diss that track for you.
Yes, it was easy, it was fun, and all that stuff. There was a bit of a surprise, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, I got many emails.
Explain this to me.
So we made the site on my Squarespace account, and what we didn't even realize was that there was an email sign-up form on the website.
Oh, no, I realized it. I wanted to know who those people were.
We accidentally made an email list with Squarespace. It's that easy.
And you realize next up, Josie has to make the diss track, and we have to actually, like, we didn't mean to actually start a business, but I think we started a business.
did.
So, Bryce, I need you to think about what's your cut? How much you want to make on this new emerging talent?
Oh, I want 2%. I only want 2%, but I want it every other day.
I like my commissions the way I like my milk. 2%.
Skimmed.
Don't take our word for it. Head on over to squarespace.com/rogue. Spell it right, ROGUE. Give it a free trial. When you fall in love, because we know you will, you'll suddenly have a bunch of people on your email list. Make sure to use promo code ROGUE at checkout. That's ROGUE. You can do it. Follow through it.
Chad.
You can do it.
Carly.
You can do everything. Carl.
Modern Rogue is supported in part by viewers like you at patreon.com/modernrogue. In the description, you can find all of our credits and additional ways to support the show.
There will be brief moments. There was one sweet moment, and I know it's all luck, where the running count got to like +11. And I just started stomping on the foot of my friend as I started putting forward bigger bets. And it was a delicious, but of course, ultimately everything is stacked against you.